talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. But she need down the ride, oh, I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Everybody clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling irie today? Let's talk. But first, I have a 34-second intro in the beginning of my video. Yes, indeed, that's to celebrate postal workers. It's the one bit of thanks that this weird man on the internet is giving to my fellow postal workers. If people don't have 34 seconds of their life just to appreciate that I appreciate you, there are other channels you can watch. Let's talk about some money for a second. I started watching this video and I want you guys to watch it with me. How this applies to us, how it applies to our life. There's a little bit of clip I want to show you, and then there was somebody else, another postal worker that had her video, and I'm gonna show you that right after and see how we can correlate this together and then get your thoughts on it. All right, I'll try to say less, but I want to share information with you and I want to know what it is that you think about this. All right, let's check this out.
Is it just me, or does it feel like sometimes millennials and Gen Zers just screw themselves over? Read this title. Business Insider says nearly 40% of Gen Z and millennials say they'll prioritize summer travel over their finances. It turns out that Credit Karma, Bank of America, and Bankrate did 3 independent surveys on people's spending habits. And do you know what they found? 47% of millennials were willing to take on debt to fund summer travel. And Gen Z trailed close behind with 42%. Almost half of young people are saying, I can't afford to go to Cancun, but my Amex says I can, so I'll just put it on my Amex. Now, if your blood pressure is already rising, you might want to leave this video because it gets a little worse. According to Credit Karma, a third of Gen Z and millennials say they don't feel financially stable right now. You don't say. Still, more than a third say they're willing to, quote, put their financial goals on hold in order to have a fun summer. What can be more fun than knowing that I'm never gonna get out of credit card debt? This is one of the dumbest things that you can do, especially in your 20s, and especially in a time where we're already seeing the economy slow down. Now, I already know what you're thinking, but Jasprit, I wanna go so I can learn about different cultures. Go to YouTube, search Life in Japan, watch the first 5 videos, and you just save $3,000 worth of credit card debt. You're welcome. But Jasprit, what's the point of having money when I'm old? So you don't have no money when you're old. Look, I don't make these videos to make friends. I make these videos to help you be better with your money. And the reality is, do you know what every single financially savvy person says when they hear that young people are spending money they don't have on dumb things? Psst, they don't feel bad for you. They say, thank you for your hard work. Because of you, I'm getting rich. Do you know what happens when you decide to have fun and be cool instead of being financially smart? Delta gets rich. Hilton gets rich, Airbnb gets rich, Hertz get rich, you stay poor. And now because you decided to spend all of your money on dumb things, you can't afford to put a down payment on a home, so you're gonna stay a tenant until you're 45 or 85. Unless, of course, you get a little creative and then you find a way to buy a home with no money down. The only problem with that your banker probably didn't tell you, is now your mortgage payments are going to be higher because you're going to have to pay a higher interest rate. You're going to have to pay PMI to your bank on top of that. You probably overpaid for your home, and now you're the most likely candidate to be foreclosed on your home. That's good for your mortgage company, it's good for your banker, it's good for your realtor, but it's not so good for you. And now when you move into this new home that you're overpaying for, you can't drive around in your beater Toyota because all of your neighbors have BMWs and Mercedes, so you want to look like one of the cool cats, so now it's time to upgrade your car. You definitely can't afford it, but who cares? BMW would love to sell you the financing on a brand new 4 Series. The world wants you to be financially dumb. It keeps them rich, but it keeps you poor. Nobody wants to tell you this, but the reality is when you get caught up in this game of always wanting the nice things before you have the money for it, you get stuck. You get stuck now always going to work to pay your bills, and then you get stuck because you never have a chance to have any freedom because now you have to work. You have to work because you have so many bills to pay. You don't have a chance to think, and now you have to work whatever job opportunity you get because you need the money now. You don't have the freedom to look for a new career, to look for a job that you might actually love, to have a little bit more freedom, to have more flexibility because you need the money now. And that desperation is what keeps so many people working in the system without any other opportunity. But if you want to stop playing in that game, you can't keep doing what everybody else does. That requires you to think a little bit like that minority mindset. You can't keep doing what the majority of people do. So if you want...
Well, this dude is clearly about to get under some people's skin. If you want to check him out, I'm going to leave a video link to his full video. I watch him on a consistent basis. But now I'm going to watch this young lady that had her words. Now, don't get it wrong or don't get it twisted. I'm not knocking anybody, but this is how a majority of us think. Not me, but a majority of people think. And I had to listen to her video, and you guys tell me what you think. All right.
I just want to come here on this Sunday, remind y'all that you do not get an award for coming to work every day. And hear me out when I say this. I have had 2 coworkers pass away in a span of 2 years, and both of them were the type of people who came to work every day, never took days off, never took their vacation. They had over 500 and all these hours of leave that they had accumulated that they never used because they just wanted to work. And there's nothing wrong with working and putting your all into your work, but at the end of the day, just know that, you know, we never know when it's our time, and life is to be lived. Like, we work so that we can do things. We work so that we can get things. We don't work so that we can just work. Work is not our whole life, and work should not be your whole personality. Take that weekend, take that trip, like, do something for you every once in a while, because at the end of the day, these jobs are going to be here, and when you leave, they're going to replace you like that. But your time is not going to always be here, and you're going to wish that you got out and did something. So I'm just encouraging y'all to please take a self-care day, do something that you love, do something that you like. I'm actually going to take a trip to see my family next week. I'm going to be gone for 5 days, and your girl don't got the best leave, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm young, I have a life to live, and my job understands that. So at the end of the day, take them self-care days, and don't let no supervisor or coworker shame you into feeling like you're not at work enough, because at the end of the day, my job is so stressful. I really commend people who come to work, I wouldn't say when they feel like it, but they know how to take a self-care day. Like, I like people like that. I admire people like that, because at the end of the day, I'm not no hater. And some people, they'll sit there and down talk and be like, oh, she's never at work. Oh, she's never at work. She don't like work. She's not a worker. And none of us are meant to be workers. So at the end of the day, do your job. I'm going to do mine. Don't let nobody shame you. Take that self-care day. And I hope y'all have a great, great summer, weekend,
well,
whatever.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's, so now she had some good points, and obviously we are not built to work every day. That I agree with. But the way life is right now, we should be working towards a goal. You shouldn't just waste every time you don't feel like going to work, not to go to work. I can do that. I've earned it after a few years of hard work. I've accumulated enough hours so that when the time is right, I can take long weekends 3 or 4 times a year. Not just a long weekend, but actual trips, memories. And I've talked to you guys about that, about how you should grind your first few years, build up a decent rapport, and then start to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But you just don't start and then trying to enjoy it. And then she said that she doesn't have the best track record with attendance. Now you've created a target on your back. Like I said, I'm not picking on her per se, but that's what tends to happen. People are like, oh, I ain't got no leave yet. Well, the first few years you grind, you earn it, then you get a vacation. Because truth be told, the people that are at Walmart aren't going on vacation on a consistent basis. The people that are going here and there, they're not on a consistent vacations, or working here. They're not going on consistent vacations. This place affords you that to go on vacations. So this place also affords you annual leave. It affords you that. So you have a set amount of hours for the hours you work. You earn your leave. You don't leave more than you earn. That's kind of how this works. But forget all of that. Back to the whole initial video where he's saying that people are tending to spend more than they make or waste money. I've spoken about that before, and I've told people, hey, don't burn your money that you don't have. And now I see a lot of people that are buying, like I said before, cars they can't afford, accessories they can't afford, they're getting plastic surgeries they can't afford, and then they're in consistent debt. But then we turn around and say, hey, this place isn't paying us enough. Well, you're right. They don't pay me enough, but I have what I need here. That's not excessive. It works for me. As the generations go on, toys get more expensive. Obviously, the younger generation have expensive toys. My son has a, what is it, $500, $600, $700 PlayStation. When PlayStations were out during my day, they were only a couple $100. It seemed like a lot. I understand things are more expensive, but in order to afford things that are more expensive, you have to work for it. Things aren't gifted to us. That's the moral of it. I mean, you guys can kind of wrap this one up together. I'm not picking on the young lady, and I'm just trying to pass information on, because a lot of people tend to feel this way, and I understand you for feeling that way. But there are better ways. There are better ways. There is light at the end of the tunnel. If any of that made sense to somebody, y'all let me know what you think. And again, the video for his, the link for his videos in the description below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, it's JH. I'm out.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.